More back and forth today about the treatment of military Gold Star families, and in particular what President Trump has said during condolence calls. CBS reporter Seth Lemon tells us more military families are now sharing their story. Seth?
Hey, Alan. Well, that's right. Presidents generally do not make phone calls. In the past, they've used different tactics like writing letters or sending private meeting invitations to reach out to bereaved military families. But President Trump's assertion that he's done more to honor Gold Star families than his predecessors has many of those families speaking out.
I am so sorry to hear about the whole situation.
That's President Trump speaking to Natasha Dealencar, whose husband, Army Staff Sergeant Mark Dealencar, had just been killed in Afghanistan.
He's an unbelievable hero, and all of the people that served with him are saying how incredible he was.
The video was recorded back in April, but Dealencar just released it to the Washington Post as controversy swirls over President Trump's recent calls to Gold Star families. Florida Congresswoman Frederica Wilson says during the president's call to the pregnant wife of Army Sergeant LaDavid Johnson, he couldn't remember the fallen soldier's name and said the sergeant knew what he was getting into. Johnson's half-sisters say they heard the entire conversation.
Very disrespectful of our president, someone who, we look up to.
Today, the White House press secretary defended her boss.
His comments were very sympathetic, very respectful, and that was the spirit in which the president intended them.
Congresswoman Wilson and the White House continue trading barbs. Thursday night, President Trump tweeted calling Wilson wacky, saying she lied about the content of the call, while Wilson accused Chief of Staff John Kelly of calling her a racist term. A Massachusetts Gold Star family is pleading for the controversy to end.
We've already gone through enough as it is, and they're making this into a contest, and it's disgusting.
Sarah Roberge says President Obama sent her family a letter 8 years ago when her brother was killed in Iraq, although she would have preferred a phone call. And it's very hard to imagine what these Gold Star families are dealing with. More than 2 weeks after Sergeant Johnson's death, there are still so many questions surrounding the deadly incident. His funeral takes place tomorrow as his family's still wondering how the soldier was left alone in Niger. Alan?
Yeah, Seth, do we know whether President Trump has made it his practice to reach out to these military families?
Well, of the 43 service members that have been killed since President Trump took office, the Associated Press did an investigation and found that more than half of them say they have not heard from the president. Now, General Kelly has said, as someone who lost his son to military service, that a presidential phone call really would not help lighten the load or that burden when dealing with this kind of loss.
I see. All right, Seth Lemon, thanks so much.